I nervously adjusted my cap as I peered out of the drive-through window, watching the rain pour relentlessly onto the darkened streets. The night shift at McDonald's was never a thrilling experience, but this stormy evening had an unsettling aura that seemed to seep into my bones. As the clock struck midnight, I noticed a pair of headlights piercing through the heavy downpour. A worn-out sedan, its color fading with age, approached the drive-through speaker. The driver's face was obscured by shadows, leaving only a vague silhouette. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about this customer.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you tonight?
I mustered my best customer service voice, attempting to hide the unease creeping into my tone. The voice that crackled through the speaker was raspy, almost inhuman.
I'll have a double cheeseburger and a large cola too.
As I punched in the order, I caught a glimpse of something through the security cameras. A chilling sight froze me in place, a bloodied hand protruding from the partially open trunk. Panic gripped my heart. But I couldn't let it show. The customer was still waiting for their order, acting completely oblivious to the gruesome scene lurking behind him. As I gathered the courage to hand over the first bag of food, my hands trembled. I couldn't ignore the obvious: the man in the car was transporting a dead body. How could I possibly escape this situation unscathed? Fear quelled around my mind as I racked my brain for a solution. I glanced at my coworker, Sarah, who had been busy restocking the fries. Her expression mirrored my unease. Without saying a word, we shared a short moment of silent understanding. If we were going to survive this night, we needed to act quickly. As the man started looking in through the window with his hands covering his face to block any glare that would be blinding his view, Sarah signaled me to stall. I put on a smile and cheerfully informed the customer.
Hey, sorry about this, but your fries are gonna take a few more minutes. Could you pull up to the designated area in front, and we can bring them out to you?
The driver hesitated for a moment, his eyes glinting with suspicion, and a low grunt escaping his mouth, but ultimately complied with my request. I watched anxiously as the sedan crawled towards the designated parking spot, the rain battering on them made the scene that much terrifying as the man looked at me with a blank expression. Sarah sprinted to the back office and called 911, urgently explaining the situation to the police. Time seemed to stretch, each passing second amplifying the terror that gripped our souls. We knew that the longer we stayed in this nightmare, the more danger we would face. Minutes felt like hours as we waited for the police to arrive. The silence of the empty restaurant was broken only by the relentless drumming of rain on the roof. We watched the security camera to make sure that the man didn't try to escape. The sedan sat ominously in the parking lot, a silent accomplice to the crime. Finally, the flashing lights of the police cars shattered the darkness, casting an eerie glow across the scene. Officers approached the vehicle cautiously, their hands resting on their holsters. I can't explain the relief I felt when they put the man in handcuffs and put him in the police car. Just as I thought I was safe, the trunk was open to reveal a sight that would forever haunt my nightmares: a lifeless body, its vacant eyes staring into the abyss. In the aftermath, I realized how narrowly Sarah and I had escaped that night. The man had been a deranged killer. His twisted intentions concealed beneath the facade of a late-night fast food order. I shuddered at the thought of what could have happened if we hadn't acted swiftly. Would we have been next? Is he still in jail? Will this ever happen again? What if one of his friends came after me? All of these thoughts have been rushing through my head when I sleep since it all happened. I can only hope that this man is no longer a threat to little boys. The faint hum of the fluorescent lights buzzed in the empty gas station as I counted down the minutes until the end of my night shift. Working the graveyard shift was never glamorous, but it paid the bills, and on most nights, it was quiet and uneventful. Tonight, however, would prove to be different. As the clock struck 2 a.m., a tall, broad-shouldered man stepped into the store. He wore a tattered coat that seemed to swallow him whole, and his unkempt beard obscured most of his face. The unsettling air around him made my skin crawl. But I maintained a professional smile.
Welcome to 7-Eleven.
I greeted, trying to sound cheerful. His eyes, sunken and bloodshot, stared at me with a strange intensity.
You're alone here?
Yes, sir.
I replied, avoiding eye contact.
Is there anything I can help you with?
He chuckled dryly, and the sound echoed through the empty store.
You know, you look like a doll, all alone in this big store.
I felt a shiver run down my spine, but I tried to brush off his comment. Thank you, sir. Can I assist you with something specific? He paced around the store, his heavy footsteps echoing on the linoleum floor. His eyes darted back and forth, examining every corner.
I need a pack of cigarettes.
He muttered, pointing towards a brand on the shelf. I grabbed the pack and scanned it at the register, trying to focus on the task at hand. But he wasn't finished with his strange comments.
You know, working here all alone must get lonely. Maybe you need someone to keep you company.
The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end, and I wished for a customer or even a passing car outside. I forced a smile and replied, I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine. Is there anything else you need? His face contorted into an eerie grin, and his voice dropped to a low whisper.
You know, you shouldn't dismiss someone who's only trying to help. You never know when you might need a friend.
Fear gripped my chest, and I reached for the phone beneath the counter, ready to dial the police if necessary. I maintained my composure, though my hand trembled slightly.
I'm sorry if I came off as dismissive, but is there anything else that you need?
His demeanor shifted suddenly, and he chuckled again, this time sounding more menacing. No. I've taken enough of your time. But remember, little doll, not all friends are as they seem. He turned and exited the store, leaving behind an eerie silence that hung in the air. I let out a breath I didn't realize I had been holding and glanced out the window as his figure disappeared into the night. Shaken but determined not to let the encounter affect me, I focused on finishing my shift. I double-checked the locks on the doors, ensuring my safety. And as the sun began to peek over the horizon, bringing with it a sense of relief, or so I thought, after this all happened I saw the man one more time that morning, him in a convertible driving at an insane speed off the cliff while laughing sinisterly.